Rose DeWitt Bukater was born in 1895, making her 17 years old at the time of the fateful maiden voyage of the RMS Titanic. The 17-year-old Rose was from an affluent family and was more of a socialite than anything else, often dressing in fine gowns and jewelry in an era that dictated such behavior. In April 1912, at just 17 years old, Rose was sailing to America in a life of luxury and privilege on the Titanic with her mother. At 17, Rose was in an arranged fiancé relationship with the richer Cal Hockley, who was going to give her the life she was accustomed to. The 17-year-old Rose was forced to grow up fast after boarding the Titanic, as she experienced tragedy in love that most children in that era never faced. At 17, Rose was challenged with the social norms of the day, defying conventions to pursue the love she had for Jack Dawson. On April 15, 1912, 17-year-old Rose's life changed forever when the Titanic hit an iceberg in the Atlantic Ocean. 17-year-old Rose saw horrific sights as the ship went down and the crew and passengers scrambled to survive. Rose was just 17, but faced death with a strength and bravery that empowered many of those around her. Rose at 17 was brave enough to get on the rescue boat and face an uncertain future while Jack stayed behind to save another soul. "17-year-old Rose had to take on a power of her own as she was the only source of support for herself and her family. This defining moment empowered 17-year-old Rose to take control of her life and make choices she was once afraid to make. The 17-year-old Rose recognized that real riches and love no longer meant material accommodations but happiness and living life. Rose, aged 17, refused to succumb to what society expected of her and made her own decisions, no matter the consequences. Rose, aged 17, opened her eyes to the world around her and experienced the depths of joy and success without compromise. This 17-year-old Rose saw beyond the luxuries of her class and was determined to decide her own future. Even with all the hurt and tragedy at 17, Rose came out of that fateful journey with a new perspective on life. The 17-year-old Rose from the Titanic taught us to take charge of our lives and not to be scared to do what's right. Before the Titanic, 17-year-old Rose had dreams of fulfilling the standard for her and her family. But at 17 years old, Rose found a strength she didn't know she had within to survive and escape the sinking of the Titanic. Rose, aged 17, found a strength and courage that empowered her to experience love and set her free from material goods. Rose at 17 was pushed to the brink of no return, and saw the horrors of that night and used it to push her to freedom. This 17-year-old Rose, on the night of the Titanic, was pushed to think for herself and make a change. Before the fateful night of the Titanic, 17-year-old Rose did not have the courage to go against societal norms. But after that night, 17-year-old Rose found a newfound strength and willingness to do anything for freedom and happiness.